another young and dynamic HR having his experience in training development, Mr. Paul Richard from JKTIS. The panel also had a faculty, a doctorate in management, Dr. Jawaharlal. So the combination was dynamic, because if you miss one, the other person catches. It was like a student will start with definition. So will listen, because been long he has been listening to me. He is not listening to definition, but Jawaharlal will stop. So we already know this. The boy Facebook God. He will bring some industrial practices, so I will say, no, this is not the right. So anyway, it was quite an interesting one. I happened to be there for some time and had to listen to some of the presentations. I was very impressed with those presentations. Before I go further, I would like to request our chairman to honor the panelists, Mr. Ponnuswamy first. Can I have the momentum, please? Ponnuswamy sir was there from morning 10:30 till last half an hour before he was there in the room and judging people one after another. Sir, it was a privilege that you have to be here. Your presence has made it a grand success for us. Next, I would like to request Mr. Paul Richard to come forward. Paul Richard, sir, was an associate of our group earlier. I wish you for working group always. The small short notice on education. He accepted to be part of this successful event. Next, we had Dr. Jawaharlal from the Department of Management Studies from St. Joseph's College. I express my sincere gratitude to all the three panelists. We were keeping the names strictly confidential till the evening, so that they will also find the confidentiality being maintained. Now I would like to request Ponnuswamy sir.
I can appreciate all the participants who were presented at the There are 14 fabulous teams took part in this, of different colleges. And in fact, it was really surprising, even undergraduate students presenting beautifully. And that too, they were doing it in HR, which was really stunning. And there were some engineering graduates who were in third year and fourth year, talking about IR evolution and all that stuff. Really fabulous. That too, those guys are not from city colleges, they were from rural colleges. That's but I just want to appreciate two girls from Hindustan Arts College who are doing second year BCom. They presented on induction and orientation. It was fabulous. The only thing, they are not able to award them the prize, but I just want to appreciate that. It was a good job. That too, BCom students. That too in second year. Really great. And our panel found it very tough to judge the winners because most of them were good. We could not find a way to eliminate. But still, there could only be one winner and one runner. It's pity. I'd like to first announce the runners up. Ms. Harita Organ and Ms. Meera of ITM Business School. They made a discussion on the topic of role of HRD in building cross-cultural or multicultural. It was really good, and the way they countered the questions posed by making exclusively Ms. Jawaharlal and Richard were ruthless in posing questions, and they were able to counter it very effectively. mystery organization, and rarely people prefer to join social enterprises. And the way they presented how to retain, how to attract talent for that was really fabulous. And Miss Jawarani and Richard posed around 14 questions on that topic. Still they were able to counter it. Congrats. Last year, thank the World Cup HR Services for giving an opportunity for all the young students to come out with their views and ideas. Thank you.
A challenge to try and summarize what we discussed right through the day. We started with by saying that importance of values and ethics. I think that was Mr. Shanmugavelai's message right in the morning. And I think right up to the end, to the recruitment session, we were talking about the importance of induction, the importance of imparting the right things to the candidates, and so on and so forth. And of course, Dr. Sethuraman set the tone for the day because he said a lot of things which were continuously and consistently being referred to during various sessions, whether it be the IR session or the training and development or the learning and development or subsequently the recruitment session. What was what's really one of those lessons for me, or something that I remember, and in a very humble way I'd like to dedicate this to him, is to say that at the end of every session, he was the first person who would raise a question. Look at the spirit. Look at the spirit of the man. I mean, he was there, right there, listening to all of us, listening to every word that was being presented and spoken, and he would raise a very, very pertinent question at the end of every session. I think that hats off to you, sir, for your observation and wonderful purpose. And of course, the point that I take home from you is that quality is what the customer wants, as depicted in the Sony example. I mean, what else could be a better description or the definition of quality? And what he, I think, gave us as a lesson was that there is a role of HR to share the vision and create a culture in the organization. Encourage employee involvement, promote innovation through employee satisfaction. I think those were the examples, not in a theoretical manner, but taken right out of the books of Meenakshi Mission Hospital and its practice. And that's why it is one of those institutions today which is surviving, which is, in spite of all the other hospitals, which, as he was saying, has changed hands, but his goes on from strength to strength. And one lesson which through which he recruited his gastroenterologist was something that we did years back, what we today call as headhunting, in a very fashionable way. But what he did was a very thorough, comprehensive headhunting. We were actually recruiting almost a daughter-in-law for the house, just as you would see, or the daughter-in-law, the other side would see whether the boy has bad habits, whether he would drink, how many drinks would he take, and along with the drinks, whether he would smoke and things like that. I think he went on to do the antecedent check that Ravi was mentioning in the recruitment session. So to that extent, in one conference like this, he has been able to recruit one of his most loyal and able hands. So that's a lesson for us as well, done many, many years ago. Nothing new about it today, I guess. Then, of course, we started the IR session where we again said that IR has to be much more proactive. We have to take care of the small things which matter. And a lot of practical issues from Voltec's own experience of how at the sites they take care of every small nitty-gritty aspect of the employee so that his satisfaction and his deriving a satisfaction from the job is ensured, and thereby he gets bonded to the organization because then his needs are taken care right from the basic needs onwards. Now, minute detailed planning of the recruitment of freshers, nurturing of freshers, education, and the importance of inculcating positive attitudes in them. All of these are actual things which are done none other than the very organizers of this conference. I think that's a role example or a role modeling that we all have to learn from. And then, of course, I did speak about the Ashok Leyland Pantnagar case study, which really has moved me a lot. I mean, I have known of transformation happening in organizations. We know how organizations in the 80s would practice total quality management and visioning and policy deployment and all of those Japanese methodologies to involve people and get their buying in and get the alignment. But I think in today's kind of a situation, Pantnagar I think continues to inspire all of us, and I'm sure it will stand as a role model or an example, a standing example of how things can be done differently in HR and IR. And as I was saying, there is this definition of HR being, HR is nothing but a proactive IR and IR is a reactive HR and so on. There was also a description in the IR panel in terms of how basically the mindset, the genes or the DNA of the working population has been that there has been an exploitation, there has been a suppression of their needs, of their voice, of their liberty, of their freedom, and that is what has given rise to an IR practice of having an HR department subsequently to fulfill those needs and to ensure that there is statutory compliance and so on. While on that subject, I promised to you that I would like to update you on what is currently going to happen, going to unfold in a few months' time, when the central government and the state governments have all been briefed of this particular seriousness of this issue. The first issue is contract labor. There is already a provision in the Constitution and in the labor enactments that there shall be equal pay for equal work. But that's not happening in practice. And therefore, at last, after so many years, after so many decades, the government has now decided to clamp down on us. And all of us sitting here in this room, including Voltec, are all organizations which are employing contract labor for various occupations, for various jobs, for various roles. But it is now for us to go back home and go back to the office rather tomorrow or Monday and take stock of what are those activities where we are not entitled actually by law to employ contract labor. So please examine, put a microscope on your outsourcing that we have now done in a little unlicensed manner over the last decade or so, thanks to outsourcing industry itself. But now the industry or the government is very, very serious and they are going to come down heavily on us. And this is just round the corner. It's just a question of months. The second, of course, is the Provident Fund and other things which have already come. There is not just Provident Fund which is applicable on basic and DNS allowance, but it's going to be now made applicable on all the allowances that are payable as part of the salary. So it's going to be a huge impact. It might be a social security measure, but it's going to have a deep impact on your expenditure, on your wage bill. So that is another area which I think all of us have to seriously look at. So moving on from industrial relations, we move into training and development. And as somebody said it, I think Dinesh put it beautifully, we thought that the afternoon session post-lunch is always a very drab session. But thanks to the trainers who are all faculty, the panel members here, they did a wonderful job. They did a fantastic job. And what is the lesson? What is the lesson? The lesson is that I can quote the most famous motivational speaker that I have been inspired by in the world, and that is Mr. Ziglar. He was asked a question. His Ziglar's quotes are very famous. You can just put Zig Ziglar quotes and you will get 129,000 sites about in Google. But he was asked a simple question. What will happen if we train? That is, they are the critics who asked him that you are talking so much about training and development, and Voltec HR Services organized a seminar where people spoke about training so much. And even people like Vilango said training is inspiration. So what do you get by training? And so they asked them the question, what will happen if we train and still if employees leave? That is the question most of the speakers asked in their sessions. So the question is, what will happen if we train and still the employees leave? His reply, I'm not as humorous as Suresh, but his reply was, what will happen if we don't train and they stay back? So then you are going to be burdened with unskilled people with the wrong attitude. So training is the heart, as somebody said it. I mean, recruitment can also be the heart, but we can always have two hearts, right? So I think Hari's presentation, I didn't want to take specific names, but Hari's presentation in terms of the methodologies, I think set the tone for the training session, because immediately after that, we started having discussions and presentations about the theatre concept, or the corporate theatre, as Prem Kumar had said it. And then of course there was also the role play and the modeling and the using movies for training and so on. But what really hit the nail, as far as I'm concerned, was that the presentation, all the presentations said that training is not a push, it has to be a pull from the employee. It has to get the buying in from the employees. The employees have to feel that yes, I require this particular training because so that I can deliver better results, I can be a better contributor, and I can kind of do the job as expeditiously and as correctly as it is being told to me. And so the pull has to come from the employee. The onus of training therefore should be back to the employee. I think that is one lesson that all of us have to take back, in the sense that we cannot do training for the sake of fulfilling some training man hours. I know of organizations which say that we had a budget of 5 man hours per employee and we are delivering 6. I don't think that is going to help, and that has not helped anyway. So today, is there a business case for training? Is training demanded or needed by the business? And if the businesses are requiring it, then we need to map it onto the competencies of the organization. And that was the contribution that Lalita made in her very kind of hard-hitting presentation, very brief but to the point. And that is where I would like to quote my colleagues from L&T, like Mr. Ganguly and Mr. Prem Kumar are there. L&T probably, and I hope I am not wrong, L&T has got a band of the largest number of trained managers in assessment centers. If my last count, when I left L&T in 2004, my last count of the number of trained managers in Larsen and Toubro was 2,500. I only hope Mr. Ganguly tells me no, now it's 3,500. I'll be the happiest person. One company which has taken assessment centers so seriously that it is made as a qualifying condition for anybody to move from one band to another band, assuming that the organization is divided into 3 or 4 or whatever number of bands, typically 3 bands. Murugappa Group does that, Larsen and Toubro does that, Ashok Leyland does it. And so what her, Lalita's contribution to this discussion was that if we can base our training need assessment and link it up with competency assessment, because then if a job has to deliver, let's say, technical, managerial and behavioral competencies, which are the 3 typical buckets of competencies. Now if I am assessed on it, and if there is a gap in terms of what I should kind of measure up to in terms of these gaps in technical, managerial and behavioral baskets of competencies, then that will tell me in the assessment center that what is it that I am lacking in which bucket and in which particular competency. And competencies have got to be very specifically and tailor-made from the organization. It cannot be cut and pasted from the internet. And so organizations today are moving to competency-based HR systems, competency-based recruitment, competency-based training and development, and of course leadership development and so on. So that I thought was a very useful information for you in terms of how organizations have successfully used assessment centers and development centers, which is a natural corollary for assessment centers, to put them through a developmental initiative so that they fill the gap or bridge the gap so that he is ready for the next promotion and so on and so forth. So I think those are the kind of lessons. The other area where linking it to Dr. Sethuraman's initial presentation about change and about innovation and transformation, I think today training is playing a very important role in the change management of organizations, in transforming the organization by whatever stimulus that it has to change to respond to an external stimuli in order to survive and grow. So as part of the change management, whether it is an M&A or whether it's a acquisition or whether it's a change of management or a change of vision or a change of product or a new product development or an entirely new line of business being introduced into this portfolio of businesses of the organization, training is naturally at the center of change management. That was also brought out. And then of course we moved on to, the last presentation which I would like to mention in training and development was, of course, Mr. Ilango's presentation. He said, and I personally got kind of hooked on to what he said, that training is a process of inspiration. That there must be a link and a bond and a rapport between the trainer and the trainee, and therefore can we build and can training really establish that rapport between the employee organization, is how I would like to kind of paraphrase it differently, to say that can we build a bond between the organization and the employee through training. And many employees to whom we have all spoken in our lives as part of our career have all said, sir, but I am wanting to continue in this organization not for the money or for the role or the job clarity or other things that Suresh was mentioning in his initial humorous episode. But many employees have said that, sir, this organization provides continuous training. It got so much exposed to new technologies, new methodologies and new tools and techniques that I am able to now do my job much better and derive a much higher satisfaction from what I do. And that's what therefore is an enablement that the organization has done for me. So training has really a very, very vital role to play in bringing that employee connect, and that was brought out very well by Mr. Ilango. And of course, as Stephen was saying, he did open our eyes to many things, including looking internally and so on. Then of course we moved on quickly to the last session, thanks to Suresh's wonderful sense of humor. He didn't talk so much about recruitment, but he cracked more jokes, I would say, in my own way. He's a good friend of mine, he won't take it amiss. But beautiful weaving together of all the 4 different organizations, ranging from Intimate Fashions to Larsen & Toubro, ECC, you can see the kind of range. But again, what came out of Larsen & Toubro and Mr. Ravi's presentation was the need for attention to planning. Workforce planning or manpower planning is at the core of recruitment. And of course, a lot of attention to detail to other things, because the input, what you get, determines the output. And so therefore, I think Dr. Seturaman also mentioned it in his question answer session at the end of the recruitment session, to say that the employee or the potential employee is actually your your customer. You are actually looking at him for employment, but he is also evaluating you. Let us not forget. He does enough homework today about your company and about you perhaps, because you are on LinkedIn. Right? And so he looks at you and says, oh, this gentleman, I know him, I have seen his profile. Yeah, I think it will be a great honor to work under with him or in his team or whatever, or that he has got a notorious, kind of reputation or whatever. So he does his antecedent verification about you as much as you want to do it about him. And so therefore, the importance of attention to detail, whether it's the application form or whether it's the psychographic testing or whether it is GET recruitment, the kind of GET recruitment that Larsen & Toubro does, it's an all-India recruitment. It's an all-India merit list that they create out of all these rural and non-rural and urban colleges. And he says he's going to recruit 2,500 trainees. Look at the bulk recruitment that they do. And they I don't know why he didn't mention it, but they do have certain innovative practices, even in small things like walk-in interview. To reduce the kind of rejects through walk-in interviews, they have put in place a process by which you can increase the hit rate for a walk-in interview. That's an innovation in the Larsen & Toubro ECC division. And then of course, Amal Das spoke about Gen Y. Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, here is a joke from me, I don't know whether you laugh or not. I asked you this question, why? So many whys I asked you. What is so different about Gen Y? Gen Y asks also the questions that I asked. Why am Gen Y? I may be baby boomer or I may be Gen X, but I can also ask why. Because Gen Y, why is it named Gen Y? Because they ask why. Why no promotion for me, sir? Why no car for me yet? Why am I not confirmed? Why am I not being promoted? Why am I not being given half an inch more bigger vada and things like that? So Gen Y is what we have to manage, because India, I don't know whether Amal Das didn't mention this, but he said it in different ways. India will be the greatest and the biggest supplier of Gen Y employees to the world, because India is currently having the youngest workforce. But incidentally, we have the oldest workforce in the politics. We are ruled by the oldest men in the world. But the point is, we have to manage the youngest workforce in the world. So the oldest workforce in the parliament is managing the youngest workforce in the world. So that's going to be a generation gap. And so the future of HR and IR or whatever that goes along with it will be determined by what Gen Y decides. Because Gen Y, by statistics, is 28 years and less of age. And they are the largest population. And it's going to be half the size of the working population in another 15 years. And so therefore, what have we got in terms of our planning and mindset changes, as was raised by Amal, in terms of how we will manage with these Gen Y employees? What are going to be the IR issues? What are going to be the HR issues? What are going to be the recruitment issues? And what are going to be the training and development issues for Gen Y is something that we have not thought about. By the way, ISTD is doing a frontline kind of a research through Great Lakes Institute of Management to understand what makes Gen Y the new workforce. And that report will be released in another 6 to 8 months' time. Great Lakes Institute of Management is doing this in collaboration with ISCD. So we will understand little more of what Amal Das has said. But he mentioned about social media recruitment. Social media is a very powerful source of recruitment. I am currently advising a company which has put up a social media recruitment portal called Jobs by Ref. Now that's the first company which has started this initiative, and Amal was mentioning that many Indian companies do not recruit by social media. They do currently. Social media, LinkedIn or Facebook is a very serious. Why? Hindustan Lever has recruited 1,200 sales, field level salesmen through social media for employment in Chennai and in Pondicherry for their water purifier business. So social media is a very strong source as well. The one thing which I want to mention here, which I heard in some other conference, is also what has been mentioned here partly. There are 3 or 4 major sources which we are not even tapping. Yes, Intimate Fashions has tapped fully, but none of our companies are tapping at all. One is the women who have gone out of employment for various domestic reasons post-marriage. There is a very huge population of women who are all professionally qualified, very, very efficient when they were at work, and their track record proves that. Very, very well connected because they are on Facebook and LinkedIn and all of that, because they are, what we are talking about is people who are less than 30 years of age. And so therefore, this is a very potentially large workforce, very talented. Now, this workforce of women can also be kind of reclassified into A, B and C, A being people who have got 15 years plus experience but who have chosen to go back to home for various reasons because their children are in high school and things like that. There is a second category, the B category, who are with less than 10 years of experience but who are absolutely skilled, who can write programs from their homes and who can do work from their homes and sell insurance policies from their homes and so on. And the third C category are those people who have got 3 years or less experience, including freshers who are not working. It's a huge workforce. The second thing which again Intimate Fashions is doing is in terms of tapping the differently abled. There is again something that is around the corner, affirmative action. Affirmative action is being pushed by the government and through CII in all the regions, including in Chennai and in southern region, where very soon you will have a mandate coming from the government and from CII to say that what percentage of your workforce is differently able and what have you done about it. So this is another very potential source of recruitment. How much of it we are using is of course independent of the organization. The third is there are college students who are part-time employees. Many retail organizations and hospitality industry is using part-time employees who are all college students, who are all absolutely game for any kind of salary because it's pocket money at the end of the day. But they start off much better off than most of us, because then while they pass out with a BCom degree, they will also have 2 years of experience in retail or hospitality or hotel or whatever, selling of insurance policies and so on and so forth. And then of course, like the Ashok Leyland experience that I spoke about, 10+2 dropouts, meaning people who have stopped working after 10+2. Many such, it's a large army of people which is available in this particular category, especially in the cities and in the rural areas. So that's the long and short of the day's summary. At the end of the day, what we are saying is that recruitment, IR and training and development are just like a triangle, one without the other will fall. And so therefore, can we in HR determine our policies such that the training and development supports the recruitment, post-recruitment, and the IR thereby thereafter manages the relationships and helps establish these bonds with the employee so that there is an emotional bonding and better, much better engagement, employee engagement. I would like to wrap it up by quoting Mr. Narayan Murthy of Infosys, who said that every morning at 9 a.m. or whatever time, my assets walk into the organization, and at 5 o'clock every day, my assets walk out of the organization. I am not sure how many of them will come back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And so that is the key, and so that probably throws the kind of challenge right on our face and says, therefore, it is a challenge of recruitment, it's a challenge of retention and good IR practices and growth for the employees through training and development. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wonderful seminar. Much above our expectations, I can bet. All of you will, by your clapping, it has been established that this seminar has delivered much more than it promised. And thanks to Dinesh and his team, and of course the leadership of Mr. Umapati, the Voltec group, and all of us who have all chipped in our own ways to make this seminar and the deliberations very, very successful, very, very meaningful, and very, very useful for all of us. Good day, good night.
Thank you, sir. I hope all of you got a complete sense of what was happening for the last 9 hours. In the last 15 minutes, we were able to wrap up the 9 hours of the event. It was a really great pleasure to have you all over here. Before we go and wind up, I would just like to mention a couple of our partners who have been kind enough to be over here. We would also like to share a small memento with them. Before I go with that, I would like to show you something. Can I ask the volunteers to bring in that banners which are there? As I was telling you in the afternoon, earlier when we thought of an idea, myself and Genius was telling, we need to announce it in every session and ask people to go and say. But there was no announcement, except once I just told that the board was full. So this is the evidence. I think all of you need to have a round of applause for your own self, because this is what India needs to do. As Genius was putting it forward very rightly, the oldest workforce leads the youngest workforce. And we need a change. I represent this young community, and I need a change. And that's what I say, I support anti-corruption. And this banners will be detached and sent back to Delhi as a token of our protest against what's happening in this country. Taking the initiative forward, I would like to request our group chairman to hand over a small certification of membership to the following colleges. If they are available, pressure, if they can come and collect, otherwise we will be dispatching it to the respective college. Hallmark School of Business, I think the principal has left. National College of Engineering, Mr. Syed. Yes, sir. We'll have it around.
One by one. Read one by one.
In case if the right sheet doesn't come, so just let me know, I'll correct it. National. Loyola Institute of Technology, Berkeley Institute of Engineering. AMS College of Engineering, Muttayammal Engineering College, Muttayamman, Syed Amal Engineering College, Syed Amal Engineering College, ITM B School, ITM B School. I think the faculty is not here. The head of the department had to leave. He had something emergency. And obviously, Priest University. We have a big parents here from Greece. They were very kind enough to be a part of this. It was associated with this university for a long time. Sri Ishwar College of Engineering. Sri Ishwar College of Engineering. Panimalar Engineering College. Panimalar Engineering College. PSG Institute of Management. PSG Institute of Management. The faculty is there. I can ask the students to come forward. PSG is for the students are there. Erode Builder Education Trust. Erode Builder Education Trust. Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. Hindustan, yes. Erode Builder Education Trust, Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology, Sassi Institute of Technology and Engineering, Kadir College of Engineering, Kadir College of Engineering, PB College of Engineering, PB College of Engineering, Bharatiya College of Engineering and Technology, Bharatiya College of Engineering and Technology, Janssen Institute of Technology, Janssen Institute of Technology, Hindustan College of Arts and Science, and then definitely Vinayaka Mission. Vinayaka Mission, we have a team over here with us. King's Engineering College, King's Engineering College, I think you cannot get it.
Thank you for your administration.
Sengundar Education Institution, Sengundar Educational Institutions, Maria College of Engineering, Maria College of Engineering, and our closely associated BTR College of Engineering and Technology, the group of GRT, GRT Jewelries, BTR College of Engineering, Jaya Engineering College, Jaya Engineering College, ABC College, ABC College, CSI Institute of Technology, CSI Institute of Technology, Popular Educational Trust, I will need to reconcile the list. And, no, yes, Ishwari College of Engineering. Sorry, Ishwari College of Engineering. Ishwari College of Engineering. Dhanlakshmi Srinivasan College of Engineering. Dhanlakshmi Srinivasan College of Engineering. Kamraj College of Engineering and Technology. Kamraj College of Engineering and Technology. B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Engineering College. B.S. Abdul Rahman College, Bharatiya School of Management, Bharatiya School of Management, to just consolidate it. The next is only a word of thanks, and we'll have a small national anthem before we break. As on the day, we had 169 academicians participating in this conference, 296 corporate HRs participating in these events, making a total of 450. Bharat University, they are the momentum sponsor, so they deserve the momentum. So as I was telling, 455 was the count. We feel sorry for the 32 odd number of institutes from the Coimbatore belt who have been a part of this but couldn't make it up because of the commitment, who manages business process outsourcing, reviewing and marketing activities. I request Selva to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all. It is not fair to hold you all till 6:30 on Saturdays. So I'll make my word of thanks as quick as possible. Before I begin to propose the word of thanks, I have something to say. Showing gratitude towards humanity is the value and ethics of our culture. So, and here I stand amidst of you all to convey my gratitude. First of all, I thank the Almighty of His grace and blessing shown on us, thus making the event a huge success. I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to Dr. Sedraman sir for honoring this event and being with us throughout the day and delivering a thought-provoking speech this morning. Thank you, sir. We are honored. My sincere gratitude to Mr. G.D. Sharma for honoring this event. Well, when I think of him, I still remember the day when I first met you at your client's office. I was completely flattered by your hospitality and support. And he had been providing the support right from that moment. Sir, I'm afraid even millions of thanks would not justify to the support and the efforts you have shown on us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being part of the CAUCUS learning. Without an head, nothing can move. Without a brain, you cannot think. As we have our chairman and managing director of Voltech Group, Mr. Mahapati sir, without him, we would have not taken any initiative to conduct such wonderful event on this occasion. So I would like to give a special thanks to my managing director, and hopefully we will have this conducting of such mega event and even bigger than this coming years. Well, it is pretty hard to meet even one intellectual, but HR CAUCUS has tremendous number of intellectuals gathered under one roof. I'm talking none other than session moderators and speakers. A special thanks to all panel members of IR, training and recruitment who had made the event very lively and interactive. I also thank the 3 research paper jury members of the valuable time and had helped us in identifying the best paper of HR CAUCUS 11. Now, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the chancellors, vice chancellors, head of the departments, faculties, and students of the financial educational institutions. And also, I thank them for showing interest on participating in this mega event. Looking forward to your support in the coming years. Now, on behalf of all VHR's team, Voltech HR Services Private Limited team, I thank you for giving us an opportunity to work with you. Now, without this guy, this whole idea would have not come to the market or to you. He visioned it, he dreamt, and made it true. Now, I'm talking about my honorable director, Mr. Dinesh, who conceived everything, who conceived the idea, who had the urge to deliver it, who had the urge to execute it and had the dareness to deliver it to the people who believed in. And I'm among them, and I'm heading the team of marketing, and I still feel proud of being this team. And also I thank all of my team members who have been delivering wonderful job and who have been supporting me for past couple of months. And saying thanks is not the right thing. I would like to have this team continuing delivering the best service and the support in the coming years. Just a request to all HRs, if you have any HR outsourced jobs, kindly contact us. We would do smart sourcing, not outsourcing. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Now I request all of you to stand up for national anthem.
I'm sorry, before that we'll just have the lucky draw that was left out. I request Indra sir to select one card from the bunch of the cards over there. Yeah, that's what. Without looking, it seems.
I have closed my eyes.
Okay.
I'll pick up one.
Yeah.
Dikshita Dutta.
Oh, ITM. ITM business school.
Only one.
ITM Business School.
Dikshita Datta.
Yours is there, sir. Your card is there.
I want to do one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I request all of you.